Okay, now we talk about philosophy. Philosophy is a way of thinking about the world, the universe, and about people. Philosophy is a group of ideas worked out by a philosopher, someone who has studied ways of thinking about the world. The ideas in philosophy are abstract, which means that they are things that cannot be touched. But this doesn't mean that philosophy is not about the real world. Ethics, for example, asks what we should do in our everyday lives, and metaphysics asks about how the world works and of what is meant. Sometimes people talk about how they have a personal philosophy, which means the way a person thinks about the world. This is not about people's personal philosophies, this is about the ideas that have been thought about by philosophers, people who think and write about ways of thinking for a long time. For thousands of years, philosophers have asked questions such as what is good, what is beautiful, do we have free will, does God exist, does the world around us exist, what is a person, what is truth, what is evil, what is the relationship between mind and body, what is science, what is philosophy, what is love. These ideas and questions from philosophy and many more have formed a large body of questions and knowledge that are written down in books. There are many different types of philosophy from different times and places. Some philosophers came from ancient Greece, such as Plato and Aristotle. Others came from Asia, such as Confucius or Buddha. Some philosophers are from the Middle East in Europe, such as William of Ockham or Saint Thomas Aquinas. Philosophers from the 16th, 17th, and 18th include Thomas Hobbes, René Descartes, John Locke, David Hume, and Immanuel Kant. Philosophers from the 19th include Ludwig Wittgenstein and Jean-Paul Sartre. Philosophy is the study of human and the world by thinking and asking questions. This is a science and an art. Philosophy tries to answer an important question by coming up with answer about real thing and asking why. Sometimes philosophy tries to answer the same question as religion and science. Philosophers do not all come up with the same answer to question. Some people think there are no right answer in philosophy, only better answer and worse answer. Many types of philosophy criticize or even attack the beliefs of science or religions. The Christian Immanuel Kant, in his work Critique of Pure Reason, Immanuel Kant asks the following question: what can I say? What shall I do? What dare I hope? What is man? The answer to this question gives the different domains or categories of philosophy. Philosophy can be divided into different groups based on the type of question that it asks. Below is a list of questions split into groups. One possible list of answers to this question can be called a philosophy. There are many different philosophies because all of these questions have many different answers according to the different people. Not all philosophies ask the same question. There are the questions that are usually asked by philosophers from Europe. In metaphysics is sometimes split up into ontology, the philosophy of real life and living thing, the philosophy of mind, the philosophy of religion, but these sub-branches are very close together. Ontology. In ontology, what is the world that we see around us? What is reality? Is there more to the world than just what we see or hear? If nobody sees something happening, does that mean that it did not happen? What does it mean to say that some things is possible? Do other worlds exist? Is there anything very special about being a human being or being alive at all? If not, why do some people think that there is? What is peace? What is time? The philosophy of mind. What is mind? What is a body? What is a consciousness? Do people make choices or can they only choose to do one thing? Do people have free will? What makes words or ideas meaningful? What is the relationship? What is the relation between meaningful words or ideas and the things that they mean? The philosophy of religion. Do people have souls? Is there a good who create the universe? In epistemology, what is knowledge? How can we know anything? What is science? What is truth? In ethics, what are right and wrong, good and bad? Should people do some things and not others? What is justice? In aesthetics, what is beauty? What is beauty? What is one person thinks a painting is beautiful but another person thinks that painting is ugly? Can the painting be beautiful and ugly at the same time? Are true things beautiful? Are good things beautiful? What is art? We commonly think that a sculpture in a museum is art. If a sculptor sculpts a sculpture of a rock from clay and puts it in a museum, many people would call it art. But what if a person picks up a rock from the ground? Is the rock a piece of art? In logic, what does the words we use mean? How can we say things, especially ideas, in a way that only has one meaning? Can all ideas be expressed using language? What is truth? In axiology, what is value? Is time really money, or have we made it so? Does love, beauty, and justice hold any value? Does philosophy do any good? Very few people would dispute this. It is easy to argue that philosophy is a good thing because it helps people to think more clearly. Philosophy helps people to understand the world and the way people act and think. Philosophers believe that asking philosophical questions is useful because it brings wisdom and helps people learn about the world and each other. Some philosophers might even argue that the question, is philosophy good or bad, is a philosophical question itself. However, some people think that philosophy is harmful. A philosophy encourages free thinking and often questions the belief that others hold. For example, philosophies such as some existentialist views say that there is no meaning to life or human existence except the meaning that we make up or invent. People from some religions do not agree with the beliefs of existentialism. It should be noted that every major science, including physics, biology, and chemistry, are all disciplines that originally were considered philosophy. As speculation and analysis about nature became more developed, these subjects branched away. This is a process that continues even today. Psychology only split in the past century. In our own time, subjects such as consciousness studies, decision theory, and applied ethics have increasingly wound independent from philosophy as a whole. Because of this, philosophy seems useful because it makes new kinds of science. Philosophers ask questions about ideas. They try to find answers to those questions. Some thinkers find it very hard to find those words that best describes the ideas they have. When they find answer to some of these questions, philosophers often have the same problem. That is how to best tell the answer they want to other people. Depending on the meaning of the words they use, the answer changes. Some philosophers are full-time thinkers called academics who work for universities or colleges. These philosophers write books and articles about philosophy and teach classes about philosophy to university or college students. Other philosophers are just hobby thinkers who think about philosophy during their free time. A small number of hobby thinkers have thought so much about philosophy that they are able to write articles for philosophy magazines. Other people approach philosophy from another job. For example, monk, artists, and scientists might think about philosophical ideas and questions. Most philosophers work by asking questions and looking for good definitions, meanings of words to help them understand what a question means. Some philosophers say the only thing needed to answer a question is to find out what it means, and that the only thing that makes philosophical questions such as those above difficult is that people do not really know what they mean. For example, Ludwig Wittgenstein. Philosophers will also often use both real and imaginary examples to make a point. For example, they may write about a real or fictional person in order to show what they think a good person or bad person is like. Some philosophers look for the simplest way to answer a question and say that is probably the right answer. This is a process called Occam's razor. Others believe that complicated answer to question can also be right. For example, of a philosophical problem. So, a philosophy is just the way to think and to think the good way in life. I think that's all that I can tell you about philosophy. So we can learn about philosophy in another time.